Today's lore story video is for Bivald of the Thorn. Hey, welcome, I'm LeilaFox. Today's lore story is going to be for Bivald of the Thorn. He is the new legendary Sacred Order champ that happens to be the Fragment Fusion for May 2022. Now, before we get into his lore story, let's check out the lore for the Sacred Order faction as a whole. For centuries, the Knights of the Sacred Order were charged with cleansing Teleria of evil in all its guises. But since the declaration of war, they have sworn allegiance to the Queen of Arabia. In league with the Queen's necromancer, these once holy knights now enforce Her Majesty's will and guard her chattel. Let's get into the lore story for Bivald from the Telerian Lore Book of Champions. It is said all living hearts yearn for Lumea's motherly grace. Even those who had forsaken her light and tread the path of wickedness still hold within them a tiny seed of her love and goodness, ever eager to take root if it is given a chance. And though, alas, not every villain heeds the goddess's whisper that would lead them to salvation, some not merely repent, but become true champions and defenders of the weak. Such is the story of Bivald. Once there lived a bandit king whose gang of highwaymen and cutthroats terrorized the southern provinces of Karok. Bivald was his name, and he was a man of both great cunning and great cruelty. Built like a mountain, he was unmatched in battle and ruled with an iron fist. All those who stood in his way met a harsh end. For years, Bivald's power grew unchecked. He had always been a step ahead of all opposition, outsmarting local nobles and evading battles his ragtag army could not win. It was said the riches he had plundered from the merchants filled an entire cave somewhere in the mountains of the Land of Rebirth. Some feared his influence grew strong enough to challenge the Bannerlords themselves, yet everything grumbled one fateful day when Bivald and his men raided a pilgrim caravan. The poor folk had no warriors among them and offered no resistance to the brigands. Neither did they possess gold as Bivald had hoped, nor anything of value among them. Enraged, he had nearly ordered the pilgrims killed and was only stopped by a blind man who stepped forward to speak on behalf of his brethren and promised to buy their life with something much more valuable than silver and sparkling gems. Whether it was surprise or greed that stayed Bivald's hand is unknown, but he agreed to speak with the elder in private and let the others go. What words passed between the two men had also been lost to history, and so was the old man's name, albeit it is widely believed he was a saint, or mayhaps even a lightbringer in mortal guise. Bivald emerged from that encounter a changed man. He recounted and cried for absolution for the lives he had ruined, putting out his own eyes so that Lumea's sacred light would be lost to him until the day she deemed him worthy. Having surrendered himself and his ill-gotten riches to the church, Bivald prepared to face judgment for his crimes. He prayed, flagellated, and fasted, yet the execution never came to pass. Representatives of the Sacred Order arrived, wishing to witness the penitent bandit, and saw in him a sign of Lumea's goodwill. Therefore, Bivald had been given a chance to repent, a chance he took gladly. Crowned with thorns as punishment for his hubris and armed with a mighty maul that had been blessed by the blood of the martyrs, he became a crusader and a warrior of light. Dubbed Bivald of the Thorn, he now fights for the Order and Lumea against the spawn of evil in the hope that one day his sacrifice shall cleanse his soul of past wrongdoings. Alright, so that was the story for Bivald of the Thorn, and what I thought was really interesting with this story is they start talking about how he's a villain. They start talking about how even villains still can sometimes feel that they want to go towards the light and do good in the world, and that's basically what we see in his story. So basically he starts out as like a king of bandits, right? He's merciless, he's cruel, he's ruthless, they raid, they pillage, and then one day they come across a caravan and he comes up against this blind old man, and according to legend, nobody knows what transpired. They don't even know if the old man was a saint. Some even say that technically maybe he was a lightbringer in disguise. But whatever transpired during that conversation, it made Bivald have a change of heart and turn away from being a villain, where he decided to repent and want to do good instead. And it was interesting how they even they kind of added a little bit of they made it a little bit gruesome in some ways, where they say that he actually pretty much took his eyes out because he didn't think he was worthy, and he wanted to wait and deem until Leila thought he was worthy again. So this was a really interesting take on a different story. It's not exactly what I had expected, but I would love to know what you guys think. Leave me some comments down below what you think for the lore story for Bivald of the Thorn. Hey, if you enjoyed this video, check out some more videos up here in the playlist on the top right.